Ladies and gents, welcome. It has been a long and adventurous. Wow, that's not the word I was looking for, but maybe that works. It's been an adventurous journey to get here. This is the final decider in Silver, and we will know after this series all of our players who will be starting in Gold in August. We've got Ciskhan, a player who played a lot of StarCraft. I apologize for not knowing his heights, the heights that he reached in StarCraft, but I could tell you that he's a very good StarCraft player. He's been playing Age 2 now for, I think, close to 2 years. Maybe it has been 2 years. Anyways, I remember when he came in, I've slowly seen him improve, and one of many really strong and fast French players. And he's like 2,400 on the ladder, playing a lot of Arabia, playing very strong. Expect aggression from him. He's playing here as the Khmer. In the blue, we have a player who is more well-known for chess than he is for Age of Empires 2. We have Fedex, who is a grandmaster in chess. A lot of people were like, whoa, if they know anything about chess and realize that. And he's not new to Age of Empires 2 at all. This guy's been playing Age of Empires 2 for 10 plus years, as far as I know. And he won some smaller tournaments back in the day. He's always been around, and he's very good at the game. He does prefer his closed maps. Must have something to do with strategy and all, right? And he tends to shy away from the more open maps. So we'll see. But the thing about Fedex is I've played the guy on Arabia a lot. I've seen him play those maps. I think he prefers the closed maps. He is still really good on open maps as well. So I wouldn't expect like a lot of weakness from him there. For Ciskhan, I haven't seen him play as many closed maps. I do not know how he's going to be able to perform if he enters the arena, for example. I just don't know. So we'll see. The map is Acropolis to start it all off. And I guess I should probably touch on my favorites here. It's so tricky for me. I have seen more of Ciskhan of late, and his shape looks really, really good. Again, I still got some concerns. I do not know how he'll play on some of the Fedex home maps. But this is game one, which is an open lands map. Ciskhan then has his two open land maps as his home maps. I could see this on paper being a 3-2 for Ciskhan or a 3-2 for Fedex, right? But like, it does kind of make sense to me that, you know, considering the players and their strengths and weaknesses, that this would go late, go to a fourth or fifth game. Anyways, Frank's probably going to open with scouts. Khmer likely to do the same. This is almost always a scout rush map. And players will fight over the wood lines. Have to protect those wood lines. And remember, you cannot wall on the rocks here. We had a difference of approach from Fedex. He actually has a gigantic chunk of wood up here. Wow. Okay, well, yeah, lumber camping at the top is more than fine then. Basically what happens is there's a bunch of little itty-bitty wood lines, and they're spread all throughout the hill. And on occasion, two of them are connected. Like, this is two being connected. I think this is two being connected. And so, I don't know, maybe this was like 3 somehow. So that could just happen, but you still do eventually need to leave your hill. And this is still a bigger, more voluptuous wood line. Which is going to be more helpful over time. So we'll see if Fedex can ship home a victory to Argentina. I don't even know if Argentinians will appreciate that joke, because I don't know if Argentinians have Fedex, but lots of jokes could be made with Fedex's name. All right, so let's see how Ciskhan fares without a barracks here, or if he chooses to make a barracks. The bonus of Khmer is that you don't have to make your prerequisite buildings, right? So you don't have to make a barracks in order to make a stable. So players tend to go up quite quick, and they get the scouts out faster, and they focus on scout. If the player on the other side, though, yeah, you see he's adding a barracks. If the player on the other side were to come forward with spearmen and scouts, suddenly you're just outnumbered, and you don't really have an answer to the scouts because you can't use your scouts against their scouts because there's spearmen there too, right? And you're forced to fight with villagers, then you're on the hill, and it's messy, then you resign and say, crap, I either should have picked another civ, or maybe I should have considered a barracks. And that is the approach that Ciskhan has decided to change a little bit. He says, I'm going to go for the barracks because I need spears. Ciskhan scouting. He knows where Fedex is. Hasn't actually seen a lumber camp. So there might be some slight confusion from him there, especially as he checks this area. And then if you look at Fedex's scouting, he didn't scout the fact that a barracks was coming up, but he did scout the wood line. So that could come as a slight surprise to him. Guys, if you really like massive feudal armies and just ridiculous games, I highly suggest watching Overtaken White Court Game 1. Ridiculous series, such a high level from both of those two, but their Acropolis game was special, okay? It was so freaking cool. It was just like razor thin margins the entire time. Could have gone either way the entire time. Tons of feudal age army. Was quite fun. You see the forward spear from Fedex? And now he's like, wait a second. The barracks? What civ is this guy? Why is he doing that? Yeah, so suddenly, 2 spearmen would be able to defend from that quite easily. You guys probably already know this, but Frank scouts have a little bit more HP. So just something to consider in the Scout v Scout fights right now. They do not get access to Bloodlines, though, so if Bloodlines is eventually researched from Ciskhan, as Fedex and Ciskhan have done a great job to pull back their scouts. These scouts are all still so high on health. I haven't gotten hit by any of these spears or anything, but... yeah, if this is an extended feudal war, advantage Khmer, because Khmer would have 65 HP on their scouts after Bloodlines, whereas it's only 54 HP for Franks. Farming eco is looking okay for Fedex. He's got to work on getting some of these farms going. Obviously has the forage bonus to work with, though, and did get the horse color upgrade for free. Farming's looking pretty good for Ciskhan as well. As again, he encounters Fedex here, and this is... both guys are showing a really nice level here, right? Similar army counts. The positioning's been back and forth from both of them. This has been really fun to watch. Ciskhan has just decided to wall in that wood line. Fedex has placed a tower foundation. But I think... oh, the villagers are still on the way. It's just going to be an interesting one. Now, if he has, like, 2 more spears, then I think he could actually get that position. But scouting it for Ciskhan is going to be the most important thing. Fedex can now see that his opponent has gone this way with the scouts, so he's actually going to push with the spears. This is kind of to protect his villagers. And then defend with the scouts, which is interesting, actually, because you would think you would defend with spears, attack with scouts. But based on, how this is played out, if he was forward with the scouts, then his spears could find him. He just wants to protect those vills there. Deeker did a very similar thing. Deeker, an Argentinian player who made it to his insider, did a very similar thing where he towered on this map. And it was also a well-timed tower that the opponent didn't scout. This is going to be really annoying. I think the response you have to go for here, and again, it's going to suck. But I think if you're Ciskhan, I think you have to just build your own tower immediately to shoot that down. Also, Fedex has a lot more spearmen than Ciskhan. Ciskhan only on 3 spearmen, making more now. He does have more scouts, but he only has 1 more, and now the tower goes up. And all of this could go wrong here for Ciskhan, because it's all happening at the same time. Again, I think this is actually the correct call. Because what are you going to do? Run? What are you going to do? Sit in the houses, not collect resources? No, you kind of have to do this. And the pressure is on for the Frenchman here. And, oh man, the scouts attack for Fedex. He's going to kill quite a few of the spearmen here. It hasn't killed a villager yet. There will still be villagers exposed, though, that will get hit by this tower. So those villagers you probably have to save. 5 to 2 KD for Fedex, who's got 8 scouts, still has more HP on his scouts, and gets another really good engagement. There's 2 very weak ones at the back of this group for Ciskhan. And just some beautiful momentum stemming from this for the Argentinian. Has to be careful, though. Has to be careful. He should not be taking this engagement. He's going to lose some scouts there. Probably because he's trying to micro here. And may also be looking at his tower. So still within reason that Ciskhan could handle this. And thank God for him that he can hop in and out of the houses with the Khmer, right? Because if he didn't have that, this would be a different situation. So now that forging is in, the spearmen and the scouts are going to do more damage. Oh god, Fedex repaired this too. I think he lost a villager repairing it, but look at how much more idle time it's causing. Yeah, now that forging is in, the spearmen and the scouts have +1 attack for Fedex. And he's just able to push this away. Remember, his eco's been untouched, but still choosing to lumber camp at the top of the hill. I find that fascinating. Ciskhan had a lot of work to do in this game, using villagers at times to fight off the scouts when there was no army. I think he wants bloodlines right now, which is why he went to gold. Fedex distracted into the TC fire. Distracted by looking at this fight, judging this fight, and Ciskhan back in it. The tower's going to go down. Ciskhan did a better job at producing villagers consistently this game. He didn't lose a single villager, people. He didn't lose one, which is just insane, right? He's got some weak ones everywhere. He's got some idle time, sure, but they might be idle. But they appreciate life so much more now that they've gone through all that hardship, so they're going to work even harder. What if that was it? It's like a SID bonus. If your villagers experience danger, they're more efficient in the future because they appreciate life. I don't know. Just being stupid, as always. All right, we've got 5 scouts for Ciskhan, but 2 are very weak. And then Fedex has the similar situation. A little bit more HP to work with. He's got 20 farms right now. I want to check resources collected. Resources collected, it's ahead for him, but it's just the wood situation because he didn't have the idle time. These villagers, they're going to come back and try and drop another tower. Now, you can't really counter tower that one, even if you had the stone, because it's just out of range. It'll still hit villagers. But I think Fedex is kind of screwed up here. He completely forgot about his base. And if you're Ciskhan, you got to keep this up. Keep pressuring the guy at his base. And this is, again, Fedex not getting any quick walls down. Very late reactions. You think you lose the first villager and then you realize and get a couple quick walls down. But maybe this is the lack of speed for him. He's lost 3 eco this game. He's behind in villagers. And Ciskhan is on the way to Castle Age. Well ahead of Fedex. Fedex having to drop the market now to balance out his eco. So yeah, this tower hurts, but it doesn't... You could still take the trees on the sides. It's something I think you need to plan for in early castle. If you get the stone somewhere, you could just TC another wood line later on too. Fedex does have a lot of army to work with right now. So there is that. And Ciskhan just fully abandons the wood line to come to the hill. Interesting. Fedex has the better KD. Get the kills there. And again, he's still got army that's out and could get some damage in. Ciskhan, though, knows he's exposed here and knows the wood will be the focus for Fedex, so he's brought in 4 spears. 5 spears. Well, the 5th one's over here. This is really good. I think Fedex could still fight it, though. If he had all of his spearmen here, and then you bring in the scouts, you also could try and, sometimes it's very easy to have your spears in the wrong position if you're Ciskhan right now. Because you might pull too many of them here, and then more army shows up. Yeah, he's just going to pull a couple over. You see what I mean, though? He's only got 2 here now. It really depends. So, okay. Pretty good game so far, guys. I'm really impressed with how Ciskhan played it. He's going to drop stable number 2. I could definitely see the pikeman upgrade coming in first thing for him. He's got 7 spears right now. Would make sense. Again, doesn't exactly have the spears in this position, though, and the wood line's very messy. And Fedex wants that kill, will be patient. Spearman will maybe go in for it. Look at the grouping from Fedex, looping around. Still hasn't killed a villager. Don't ask me how Ciskhan has saved so much. It's either extreme luck or it's just, perfect reactions. Pikeman upgrades in. Gold's fully protected, right? And that's good because now knights can come out. And now the knights could head over to Fedex's base. And I think Fedex realized, okay, I'm going to need to go spears as well. He's only got 3 of them, though. I don't think 3 spears is going to be a match for 3 knights if the knights find the right positions. So I think advantage Ciskhan right now. Still very interested on what he's going to do for long-term for wood. Same conversation for Fedex, obviously. By the way, Fedex milled this area and is on the shorefish. The villagers are still there. Ciskhan looked and couldn't find anything. 4th villager now down for Fedex. And more pressure on the way from Ciskhan. And this is what I mean. You can chew up spearmen with the knights. And neither player has wood control on their bottom. This is very rare. And neither player with the stone to be able to do it either. Ciskhan, again, all over Fedex right now. Great pickoffs. He's really starting to show his skill now. And I'm worried for Fedex that he's not going to be able to keep up with this. The quick walls haven't really looked that good for Fedex. I don't know what this knight was doing. He's down by 11 villagers. The army count, he's behind as well, right? He's behind in knights. He also is behind in pike numbers. He is Franks. So the economy still can kind of pull through if you have lesser villagers. But I don't know, man. He needs a big fight soon. And Ciskhan needs to get a TC up. Yeah, on a wood line. And he's tracking these knights quite nicely. He could actually turn around and fight these. Oh, tracking the villagers as well, possibly. Just missed those. The one thing I'll mention right now is that Fedex has tons on gold, which makes a lot of sense in 2 stable knight situations. The mount on gold is a little light right now for Ciskhan. Look at that army, though. Oh, my goodness. Fedex can't be taking that fight. Fedex cannot be taking the fight. He takes the fight. Doesn't get hit by many pikes, but see what Fedex does here. Looks like Fedex finally killed his first villager here. So we saw him kill the pike. So I like how he's keeping the scouts on the move. All right, well, Ciskhan realizes I have pikes now. And maybe I'll have some monks, so I can defend at home. Let's go forward with my knights. Oh, God. Fedex has nothing. But Ciskhan doesn't have enough here. And he's reacted very late. And the Vil difference is going to even up quite quickly because of this. Oh, my goodness. Fedex knew he was behind. He committed towards an attack. And just like that, he's now killed 13 villagers in this game. And it's tied. And actually, at the same time, he reacted here. So he hasn't lost all that much, but he needs some big house walls. It's doable, though. Another house here. Okay, these villagers might need to run. Holy quick walls. I mean, you'll take losing some of these villagers over losing all of your gold miners. The pikeman for Fedex baited into the TC, though. Only 7 pikes for Ciskhan. And he's on 2 TCs, so he's going to have more villagers. Has had a lot more idle time in this game compared to Fedex. Fedex, again, protecting this very awkward gold situation. Loses a couple more vills. But now he's got 13 knights to chase away the, how many is it? 9 knights from Ciskhan. Tries more quick walling to keep the knights there. Knights get to run away. And scouts and knights on the move over here. They make a move against a villager. Ciskhan shows the monk, realizes that he could lose the monk, so garrisons. That's really good play from both players. And now the knight comes out and gets a conversion. Or monk comes out, sorry, and gets a conversion there too. That was really sick, micro. Oh my god. Ciskhan is really talented, man. Like, those are some moves that, a lot of top 30 players don't do. There are obviously some, but... Like, he starts the conversion full well, knowing the scouts are there and that he shouldn't do it. But he baits the units in, and then he hops right out as they run away from the TC. The timing was epic. The eco's epic. The army count's epic. But this is just straight knight from Fedex. Who, he saw this TC a long time ago, right? So he knows, okay, I've got to go all in here. There's no way I catch up economically in this game. I have to go all in. 19 knights. Scouts attacking over here. Now, scouts could be really helpful on the field if you're Fedex. You might want to keep these scouts alive to kill some monks. And there are the knights. And now there's going to be a couple monks roaming, and you don't have a unit that counters them. Only thing I'll say is knights still beat a pike in a 1v1 fight. Pikes are just cost effective, right? You don't spend gold on making them. But I think when you see this many knights, a second barracks would make a whole lot of sense right now for Ciskhan. Maybe not even just now, but like soon. As he is to react here. I'm loving what Fedex is trying to do. But I love Ciskhan's defense, and he was just waiting with the monks, converted a knight. We also, at the same time, had Fedex here. So Fedex had the main group, he had the secondary group, and then he had the third group. And this is all the benefit. He can put more of his attention on the army because he doesn't have to manage a second or a, third TC setup. Is there any Civs Pike that can 1v1 a knight? Well, I mean, it's upgrade dependent, that whole conversation, right? And once you get to Halb, it's a different situation. And oh my god, Fedex everywhere, guys. Just everywhere. Okay, dives underneath the farms. This is a risky dive. The monks should switch conversions. And they do. So knights get converted. Plus there's pikemen here. But there's also knights here. And this TC isn't fully garrisoned because there's also this as well. What is the population going to look like after this, both in military and in eco? Fedex still kind of in it. But it's 54 villagers versus 49. Still 3 town centers for Ciskhan. Look at that eco KD, though. Like, the eco KD, 38 to 18. I think it's worth it at this point to maybe get... Yeah, well, it's more than worth it to get fletching on your TCs. Fedex in again? Killing more villagers? He hasn't taken any good trades against the army. But maybe now he could drop the second town center. Because now you drop the second town center. It feels natural anyways, right? There he goes. I'm not sure he can go there right now, but he's going to try. Fedex has done an amazing job keeping himself in this game. And again, the level's just too high from these guys. Or not too high. It is so high. Only one can move on to gold. Both are playing some sick Acropolis right now. Okay, there's someone in chat with the username Zuck my balls. I just want to watch AoE right now. Oh my god. I love the internet. Alright, Ciskhan's going to be loving life here. Especially after taking so much damage. He's going to get some counter damage in. Now 65 villagers versus 48. And a big problem for Fedex has just been the fact that his economy has been worse. And he just hasn't had as many villagers, right? But, I mean, he's still killing vills. And he still has more knights than Ciskhan. So, if he could get to, like, 25 knights, get these things to full HP, he's going to need to heal them. Maybe get to stone, get a cheap castle. Who knows? He will be on 3 TCs. Again, notice how much gold focus he has. Just feel like Ciskhan should have... Like, he's doing an awful lot of reacting here. I feel like he should be in a position to be taking fights all the time now. He probably doesn't realize how weak some of these knights are. But, like, right there, he could actually be taking that fight. But when you see the score, when you know Fedex's reputation, when this is so important to you, there's all the different factors. You sometimes could be... Well, you're certainly not going to realize some of the minor details like HP on individual knights. But part of it, too, is you think, I have the lead. I should have the lead. So let's not take any risks. God, I love this from Fedex so much. How many times do I say it when I'm casting? You don't have to raid with the full group. Stay at home with the full group and heal up and just wait for him. And then go raid with like 5 knights. Raiding with 5 knights can be more effective than raiding with 20 because they don't see it sometimes. Especially when they've got the main group to worry about, where there's pikes, there's knights, and there's also monks from Fedex. I mean, Ciskhan, though, did see that and was ready for it. But I just love that idea. I actually think it could be more successful for Ciskhan if he were to try that into the back area of Fedex's eco. What a game. Look at that army count, guys. And we have +2 attack and +2 armor on the knights. And that +2 attack obviously applies to the pikes as well from Ciskhan. Both players ramping up the knight and pike production. Man, maybe it would have made sense for Ciskhan to farm at the top of the hill here. These farms are extremely exposed. Both players on stone. Ciskhan has more on stone. So in terms of a race towards a castle, Franks might have the cheaper castles, but it's 7 on stone versus 1. It's 35 on food versus 18. Again, no real potential for a counter there. This, to me, it feels like it's all Ciskhan. As long as he has the pike production, he's getting tons of upgrades. Remember, he's got 2 barracks. He does need houses right now, but he's addressing that. Looks to go in and encounters Fedex's knights and the monks and says, okay, I don't want to throw anything there. Knew the knights could reposition here, has the pikemen. Like, the level is so insanely high here from Ciskhan. It just feels like Fedex, I mean, he's played well, but it's possible he just can't really compete with this guy in open maps. That's what I said about the series, man. And this guy has heavy StarCraft background. And you can just kind of tell when you play him. Oh, that's going to be a clear up. Those pikemen will go down for Fedex. And we will see a castle from Ciskhan. He wants to deny that gold. And if he gets the castle here, it also protects all of this eco. I like the castle idea. Villagers could die, though. His knights and pikes need to take an engagement just to protect the vills. But he's got the better units here. He's got more units. Slightly more, but he does have more. And even if he had slightly less, that he just needs to buy time for that castle to go up. Should be advantage Ciskhan in his fight. Based on the upgrades and based on the castle fire, too. Would love to see the villagers actually garrison in that castle. Fire a few more arrows. Ciskhan probably feeling like, all right, this is my moment. He is fighting uphill right now. He is losing a lot of his knights to conversions. What you do here, though, guys, is you pull a couple knights and you just kill those 3 monks. You do not... Like, these monks are healing right now. I'm surprised Ciskhan didn't do that. Those monks should be out of the picture. They're helping so much. Now he realizes. Now he goes in. Now he kills the monks. There you go. And you can just back away to your castle now. Just back on up. Yep. Back on up. You have the luxury to make more pikes. So you should just do that. So, I don't know what Fedex does now. I mean, he could still try pushing here, but now Fedex has to defend this area of his eco. Ciskhan doesn't know about that area, but if he were to run back there, he'd find quite a few kills. Fedex still trying to hold to the hill here. And is taking really good engagements all game. The KD is up by 30. And somehow he's recovered economically, too. Let's check res collected. Yeah, there's a lead, obviously, for Ciskhan, but resources collected is not as bad as you would think. What a great game. This game might end up actually being better than the game that I referenced between Overtaken and Whitecourt. This is really cool. Army all the time. And aggression. Look at this eco. How did he get there? How did he get to this? All that farming eco. All the new TCs for Ciskhan, or like the 2nd, 3rd town centers, are still in this area. If this were to get castled, which I guess you'd have to take out this house and then castle it. But if you could somehow castle this area, it could be disastrous for Ciskhan. Look at that idle time. Fedex not realizing the knights from Ciskhan have went underneath his TC here. Realizes now. Weird little pike v pike poke war over here. As Fedex wants a TC there, which is wild. There's a gold there, though, so he says, let's take it. Fedex has more knights than Ciskhan does. Fedex has the same amount of pikes as Ciskhan. He's taking pretty decent fights. He's still going to take better fights because he's got the hill. And chase these knights away, and a population is 140 versus 135. So this starts to become a problem. Honestly, Ciskhan, okay, he's going to drop a castle here. I was going to say drop a castle next to this area of his eco. What's going on here? This castle is insane. He doesn't have any army here. He saw the TC. It was a reactive castle. Fedex notices it. And villagers are going to go down there. Now, meanwhile, we could have villagers going down for Fedex. He has reacted here. Oh, this is so messy, dude. Castle could still go up, right? It's at 45%. He might just need to be patient. The knights have made it over here. Fedex does garrison. His knights are still chasing this down. He'll eventually kill the knights from Ciskhan, but Ciskhan's turn to raid underneath TCs. Fedex does have fletching. Meanwhile, Fedex still trying to deny this castle. Ciskhan's still trying to finish it. And I think the castle will end up going up. Again, the KD, the army, the raids, everything's so ridiculous in this game. And oh, hold on. Fedex still denying the castle. But for how long? It's at 90%. Ciskhan just needs to get a few more military units over here and he finishes it. He's probably so annoyed, though, because if that goes up, like, all these villagers die for Fedex. Fedex is a crazy man for staying here, by the way. I think he needs to understand that that's going to happen anyways. Also, shout out to this tower who's been slowly killing villagers on the gold. Okay, there goes the castle. And now all Fedex's villagers are going to die. And the only thing you have to make sure of here if you're Ciskhan is that you don't sit underneath the TC, because the TC still fires arrows. Okay, he relocates, fine. This game is amazing. I want to look at vision real quick. All right, so I like this raid here from Fedex. First time he's been over here in a while, right? This is good. I also like how he's splitting them up, looking for different areas. Fedex has more villagers right now, guys. He doesn't have as much army, though. It's funny how this is swung back and forth. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. The quick walls don't get down. Villagers have to hop into... There's only one house. Villagers can't be saved, but don't worry. There's army on the way. Here's Ciskhan losing a lot of his knights as he tries to get counter damage, and he now only has 5 knights. And Fedex is a 20-villager lead! What in the world? Honestly, I really wonder what happens in this game. A castle! What? No way, dude. That is so crazy. I mean, he sees the wood. If he gets the castle up, it's huge. He already has the army, the eco lead. I honestly think fletching, being in on the TCs, though, has made a bigger impact than I could really show you guys. Because the knights have just been in and out of the TCs, or underneath the TCs, it feels like the entire game. All right, well, Ciskhan needs to bail here. Does he know about this wood line? Okay, so he doesn't actually know there's a wood line there. And now he kind of needs to go here, but this tower's up to 4 kills. And Fedex has 15 knights. And as we've seen, like, the knights have been getting villager kills. Fedex is about to hit 100 villagers killed this game. And he seems to have enough pikemen to be able to defend every time the raids come in. Like, Ciskhan has just really struggled against Fedex's raids. He was faster to creating villagers, faster to the army count that we're currently seeing, or the army types, right? Like knights and pikes. But he was never really controlling the game with raids. Fedex is coming to this hill, though. That's a bit ambitious. What a ridiculous comeback from Fedex to get to this point. And the guy is at 170 pop. As he tries to drop another castle here. Again, super ambitious. But, I mean, if he walls it in... If he could somehow wall this off, it could go up. But no. The units are in there. He's going to need to abandon that. This tower will go down. Ciskhan finally noticing it. Knights over here still been killing villagers. But it's just a wasteland for Ciskhan's economy right now, it feels like. And Fedex, he might have 30 idols right now, but he's got 149 villagers. Ridiculous. He's got pikes, he's got knights, he's got castles you could maybe build. He's brought villagers here? Excuse me? Okay, well, he's got villagers to waste. Look at all the blinking. Look at all the red blinking dots right now. Just look here. There's blinking everywhere. A second ago, there was blinking here. And it's all the areas he's been attacked. The tower obviously went down. So we're actually seeing axemen from Fedex. Axemen are good against pikes. So he still feels like he can complete this castle. He does delete the foundation. I think there's still too many pikemen from Ciskhan. I think Ciskhan can still clear this. I think Ciskhan seems really rattled right now. Trying to stabilize his economy, send villagers back to work. Doesn't really have great access to wood and gold. It's all in that one area. He's got 30 pikes, though. If the castle goes up, it's a nightmare for Ciskhan. But It's just, it feels unnecessarily risky for Fedex right now. This is 75%. He's going to click this like crazy. It's at 83%. It's at 87%. There's knights coming in support. That's not going up. That is a 90% castle. That is a doubt castle. And that gives Ciskhan a way back in this freaking game. What is that town center? Did those villagers survive? Fedex is randomly TCing the left side. Gotta love it. 57 on food for Fedex, 18 on gold. How much gold does he have, though? Still idols. Just idols, idols, idols. Where is gold? He can take this stone here, so he could actually build up a base there to raid. Guys, he doesn't actually have much gold. Like, he's got this gold, and then he's almost out. He also doesn't have any relics. He's losing his knights, which is not going to help matters as far as gold's concerned. And he's dropping a castle here, and Ciskhan has knights, and Ciskhan can deny this as well. Oh, my God. The army count being higher for Ciskhan has paid off big time over the last couple minutes. It's crazy how this has worked, right? The player with the better economy has had worse time with military, it feels like. That's what we're seeing here. He's going to try and force it down. I mean, if Ciskhan could hit back up with his knights and pull his pikes in right now, he denies his castle still. But he kind of left his knights in there. And he still has to pay attention to this. Maybe he knows about that. I don't know. That castle's not going to go up either. Oh, no, Fedex. Oh, no. Did someone order a throw? Oh, man. This is crazy. Okay, there's gold here, which I guess Fedex could take if he takes out this castle. He's still going to try here, guys. He's still... Because if it goes up, it's really hard for his opponent to take it down. Is he going to run in and wall the Ville off? You got to wall the Ville off. Nope, that's not going up. Nope, it won't happen. That's denied still. Army's dying. Villagers are dying. More villagers could die. Idle time. Guys, look at the idle eco counts for both of them. Also, the raids from this side have been noticed by Ciskhan. This is a ridiculous game. Look, like, this is... we just hit the hour mark. And it's 7 hours of idle time for Ciskhan. 10 hours of villager idle time for Fedex. Ridiculous stuff, man. And Fedex can't make gold units. So I think it really just has to be... And okay, he got an extra hit, so he got up to 93%. It just has to be straight pikes from both now, right? Pikes and light cav. Yeah, and I guess, like, if you're Ciskhan, you maybe only use gold for siege or something. This game's ridiculous. Fedex still has 30 more vills. Res collected. He's not ahead in any category, really, besides the stone. Like, this side base is really nice. And actually, if he can get this castle up and then he will recognize there's a gold there, that could be really good. Also, I would say getting this relic would be nice. But, I mean, best of luck focusing on that. But you're focusing on everything else. This castle, I like the addition of the ram here, just in case. The villager... Okay, wait. There's a chance this stays up. Don't tell me it's going to be 3 doubt castles here from Fedex. Not seeing any movement from Ciskhan to there. Oh, it got noticed. It got noticed. It got noticed. It got noticed. The knight's on the way. It's at 96%. And there's another villager walking through. I don't know. Maybe she was supposed to build this castle. She's like, I don't want to build that one. I want to build the other one. What's happening? This is insane. Fedex has more pikes than Ciskhan does. I mean, you'd have to get the castle up and then somehow take out the ram. I think this one goes down, though. Oh my god. Good luck being a villager. Look at all the castles. This is complete chaos. This is complete chaos. And Fedex found some gold. But where does Ciskhan go? He's got to go here. There's the castle. Look at him repair it, too. And Ciskhan calls the GG. He calls the GG. I don't even know if this is GG right now, honestly. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, it sucks. I'm sure it's painful, but with the amount of times that this game swung back and forth, I would have liked to see him play on a little bit longer, but what a great game. I mean, from his perspective, he can't farm anywhere easily, right? This gets castled. You can't deal with that castle yet. This castle will go down, at least. So then you can still take wood here. You can take farms. I want to look. So, okay, so at the time of resigning, he's moving with a ton of vills that are just going to become lumberjacks, basically. And he says he has 29 on food. All right, okay, 14 on wood, 29 on food, 3 on gold, versus 45, 45, 8. So he's definitely worse off. Yeah, he's absolutely worse off. This castle was so clutch. This castle's here. Yeah, he's just got so many castles around, man. Yeah, it would be tough for him from here. And I think the main concern is, at this point, he can't actually produce a lot of army, right? He is not floating resources. He does not have a lot in queue. So, yeah, this is... While instinctively I was like, I would have liked to see him play on a little bit longer, I actually do believe the castles and the stubbornness from Fedex paid off. Honestly, guys, I'm going to tell you what changed this game. I believe that Ciskhan made a mistake by TCing where he did, right? I mean, Ciskhan played an amazing game. I still can't believe Fedex won that because of how good Ciskhan was playing. But if you look at his scouting, let's say at 23 minutes, okay? This is around the time he's going to drop the TC, right? Look at his vision. Now, it makes sense. You scout the opponent, you scout the middle. But Fedex, he didn't choose to really prioritize as much focus here. Now, it could have been because his opponent was there. But I think if this was scouted, and one of those town centers, even just one of them, not even both the additional town centers, if he had safe eco back here, safe gold income, safe wood, safe farms, it'd be so much different for him. He pretty much had no vision in that corner, and it was so easy for Fedex to find damage because it was right next door to Fedex. Fedex could just stop by for a cup of sugar, aka villager kills, and Ciskhan couldn't help but give him that opportunity. Listen, I mean, people want different things from Age of Empires 2 games, right? Some people like different types of units. Some people like, walls. I don't know what you like. But this game, in terms of action, was wild. And amazing performance from both of them. They were in and out constantly of those town centers. 12 hours of idle eco time collectively for Fedex in a game that went just over an hour. And amazing start to the series, too. There's Perez collected. Like, again, that's incredibly close. 69,706 resources for Fedex. The stone was really big for him. In the end, I guess he got a bit more wood and a bit more stone. But even the type of resource, if you compare that, it's not that different, right? Like, wood is close. Food, gold. I guess stone's harder to come by, so that's bigger, but still. That was a lovely game. Good stuff. Actually, you know what? That's an amazing game. This is where it's a bit weird. I think this series is going to be up on T90 Extras, like well in advance of this ever hitting YouTube. But YouTube, if you end up being interested in who won this entire series and want to see these two players play more, the series is up on the Extras channel, and we'll have that linked for you and available for you in the description. It's an important series for both players because the winner moves on with the big boys into gold. But I can't promise that the next game is going to be quite that good. That was something else. So it surprised me a little bit as we fixed the colors that Ciskhan chose maps that incorporate so much water. I don't know Fedex's skill set, to be completely honest with you, on the water maps. I mean, okay, Fedex is going to be good. I think Fedex is good in all settings. But, like Ciskhan did feel like for most of the previous game that he was maybe superior with army movement and transitions to castle age, etc. Like, honestly, I just felt like the positioning of his TCs made life incredibly awkward for him. But anyways, he's gone for Scandi, and this is as standard a generation as you could ever get from Scandinavia, which is actually kind of rare in this version because sometimes the positioning can be kind of interesting. But this is cool because they are dead center. and they're far across from each other. And then it will be about which side do you dock. And I think it's possible that we'll end up seeing both sides docked. Now, if it's water fighting, I think Byzantines have the advantage. I know Byzantines have the advantage, at least in the strength of their fire ships. So, advantage Byzantines there, but Japanese, cheaper lumber camps, mining camps, mills, lots of early flexibility. Their fishing ships are also very strong, and they're more than capable on water, too. So, we're going to see Ciskhan pushing some deer right now. Remember, there's 3 boars. So, where is the... Oh, he took the first one. Okay. So, yeah, there's 3 boars. So, there's 2 more now. And he's also looking to push in the deer. I have said this before. I don't like pushing in deer on this map. I don't see why you should do that. I think what you should do is you should scout and determine which side you're going to dock on. Do that. Scout the shoreline. Make sure has the other guy docked. If they haven't docked one side, check the other side. Check the front of their base. Are they adding the barracks, etc. But pushing in 2 deer is not the end of the world. But again, you're Japanese. You could still just mill the rest later. They're both going to the same side now. Lucas says Fedex is a chess master, and it shows. Do you think that you see the chess aspect in his play? See, I'm not a big chess guy. But like the previous game, it didn't seem... To me, it just looked like he's able to thrive in chaotic situations, which is not very chess. You know? I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from the guy, right? He's a grandmaster in chess and has been to all these tournaments and is a legend, but the previous game didn't scream chess to me. But if we get to arena, I'm sure then you could maybe, see a little bit more of those similarities. Anyways, Ciskhan finds the dock, and that's what we wanted to talk about. So now he knows that his fish are going to be on the same side as Fedex's fish. As Fedex comes home, and Fedex is going to know that his opponent knows, but he doesn't know where his opponent has decided to dock. So the longer this matchup goes, guys, the better it is for Byzantines. I think Japanese should aim to kill fast. I also think that Ciskhan's a player who, up against Fedex, the longer it goes, maybe he's at a disadvantage. He should try and kill fast. I wonder if there's a world where Ciskhan tries double dock galleys, which is super rare on Scandinavia, because you normally have a combination of fighting on land and also on water. And it can kind of be hard to balance the galley micro with land things, but... Yeah, I don't know, but I think it's just going to be man-at-arms for him. He is sending a villager here right now, and I love Ciskhan scouting here. He sees the gold, he sees the hunt. I think he might... Yeah, there's the barracks. He'll go for militia. Knows where the TC is now. Obviously, woodline's kind of unimportant to scout, because there's going to be wood everywhere on Scandinavia. Hey, thank you, John. It's been a very busy month. But in a good way. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm proud of myself, guys. I'm awful with balance, and I've by no means been balanced with work and life and whatnot recently, but I did a good job of preventing burnout this month. So I'll be able to have content prepped for when I'm away in Australia. Have a really cool meetup plans with viewers, too, while I'm over there at one point, and... like I said, I didn't burn myself out, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Because it was a big risk this month for sure that could happen. Okay, so 4 fishing ships for Fedex, because he hasn't gone for the barracks yet, right? And Fedex, knowing the matchup, is just going to wall up right now. Interesting. Hasn't scouted at all. But when you're up against Japanese, you could just say, oh, well, I think if I go walls down, it's not going to hurt me. Sends 2 to gold, which indicates he wants to make navy. But, dude, this is like... Listen, he's making decisions without the information right now, right? Like, he is making the correct decisions, but he doesn't have the proper information, which makes it really interesting. He's assuming a lot, and he is going to assume correctly. He probably just thinks, well, it's not going to hurt me if I make ships. It can only be a good thing. My opponent scouted me, so it's likely he might pressure that. I mean, thank God for him, he did wall. It is still open over here, actually, but Ciskhan doesn't know that, and Ciskhan is just going to apply pressure. Have you tried endurance sports for better stress resilience? Says, Zuck my balls. I just want to watch AoE. So I'm getting stress resilient advice from that username. Interesting. I'm pretty active, dude. I'm good. It's not so much about my routine as far as that's concerned. It's having 2 to 3 channels pumping out videos, adminning and running a tournament while also trying to cover it all, planning a trip 7,000 miles away from home, combined with, trying to do some normal, just get like dive certified, deep dive certified and everything else. So there's been a lot going on for me. But like I said, I'm feeling good. Here goes that first fire now for Ciskhan. And there's a fire from Fedex. And he's just played defense. It's boring. It's not exciting. He now loses his scout to villagers, which looks kind of bad, but he's Byzantines. And Byzantines, the longer the game goes, the better they are, especially against the Japanese. There goes the fire, just passing there from Fedex. And that could be bad for him because the fire from Ciskhan is going to get through. Fedex did, I think, scout the dock, right? He did just check that before his scout went down. I like this from Fedex, though. He's actually snuck over here with a wall villager. And he's going to add a couple other fishing ships here. And if you check res collected, he has actually collected more this game. And so he's got archers, which he could use to push this away eventually. And this game will likely head towards Castle Age. But again, I'm really impressed with how Ciskhan is played. I love the mill and the deer. I love how many farms he has. The only thing that's kind of weird to me... And, oh god, he kills the villain. He could kill all the fish here, so it might not be that big a deal. The only thing that's kind of weird to me is he didn't try and expand to fish elsewhere. But, like over here is an option. But that's big investment. That's 150 wood into that, plus the fishing ships. And he prefers to invest into archers and fletching. And he's making a move already. So is Fedex, by the way. So 0 fishing ships now for Ciskhan. Fedex still having 2, 3, but we'll see how long that lasts. And now these villagers need to build some more creative walls. Or there needs to be range support. The range support's on the way. This sneak from Fedex. Oh, God, Ciskhan, you have walled everything, dude. Except for this opening. 4 to 4 KD. Ciskhan reacts right away, which is really good. Again, still trying to do some things over here. He is going to be pulled off of gold, though. He does lose a villager. And Fedex, happy with that damage, I'm sure. Happy with the fact he hasn't taken much damage. Also saved 2 of his fishing ships here, while having 3 over here. He's still concerned about this, and then there's still micro there. A really tricky game right now. But still could go either way. Ciskhan's transitions into Fudiko has been so strong, man. Like, it definitely feels to me like he's faster than Fedex. Not significantly, but he has an edge in that. Like that right there. Like, that's clinical micro. And now you can just wall this up. We check res collected now. Still pretty darn close. It feels like the fishing ships that Fedex has added over here has kind of saved him because he's been later, much later to farms. And then every arena player's favorite building is going to come up for Fedex here. 3, 2, 1, mark it. Oh, baby! Yeah, I mean, I hope you're impressed, but you shouldn't really be that impressed because we're talking high-level Age of Empires. That should be happening in this moment for Fedex if he wants to get to Castle Age at a reasonable time. So he's going to buy and sell some res. Basically, he hasn't collected as much food, but he's collected a ton of wood. And with that wood income, he'll be able to sell some of it, click up. So this is, we're going to arrive to Castle Age, guys. And again, it's key for Ciskhan that he gets the damage in. Because Byzantines have cheap skirms against the archers. Byzantines have cheap camels against knights. And Japanese don't even have very good knights long-term anyways. So it essentially becomes a ranged unit battle. And if it's a ranged unit battle, advantage Byzantines. So this faster Castle Age needs to matter. We've got 0 fishing ships for Ciskhan. Meanwhile, we've got 6 for Fedex. And again, Fedex just needs that uptime. By the way, I turned off market events earlier. Sorry. He just needs to get to the next stage. Good pickoffs here from Fedex. And oh god, Ciskhan's throwing away so much army. This is so bad. Oh, this is such a bad position to be in. Brutal losses. Oh my goodness. And it is all falling apart for the Frenchman right now. He's got no fishing ships as Japanese. He's going to make it to Castle Age. And he's going to have... Well, he's not going to have enough range units to even justify upgrading them, possibly. What about Samurai as Byzantine trash killer? Well, then they can make cataphracts. And cataphracts destroy infantry. You're kind of like... There's a reason people ban Byzantines a lot if they can't pick them. Because Byzantines can dominate. They're really awkward to play against. I'd have to look at the draft to see how early Fedex picked it, but there was Shoals, and there was also Scandinavia as the home maps for Ciskhan. So 2 maps that incorporate land and water combined, where I think Byzantines thrive. But yeah, you know, in theory, like, you get to a lot of samurai before there's castles from Byzantines, then yeah, maybe. But it's like, it just, everything you can think of that Japanese could try, Byzantines have a bit of a counter to. And oh man, Fedex finds this here. Here, Fedex will actually still have some units around, being annoying on the wood line. Nice micro there from Ciskhan. Very nice micro from Ciskhan, actually. But Ciskhan wanted to go forward siege to pressure. That's not too feasible anymore from what I can see. Now let's look at resources collected. Now look at the difference. Still crazy that wood count from Fedex. He's had so much on wood. My goodness. And he goes for elite skirm. And now you're just stuck. You're stuck in your base. The siege workshop's apparently never going to go up. You would need a defensive siege workshop here if you're Ciskhan. It would be such a painful loss here for him if he loses this, because the first game could have gone his way. Should have gone his way, possibly. Guys, I think he forgot he placed this here. That's 200 wood that he can't spend right now. Loses a ship over here. Might have been a fire. Sorry, I didn't look. But yeah, 6 crossbowmen at home. Or I'd make it 5. He had some forward that just got cleaned up by skirms. And so I guess he has to turn this into, yeah, siege and crossbow. The siege takes care of the skirms, and then you start a slow push across the middle. Makes sense. Oh, man. Have you guys ever done this? He goes to delete a piece of his wall, but he deletes this piece, and there's still a tree there. So he's clicked them out to go build the TC, not realizing it's not open, and they're going to walk the whole way around. Thankfully, he noticed, because they would have run right into Fedex's army here. I mean, she's still going to run into Fedex's army. Another dock for Fedex, so we can expand his fishing eco. He's at 9 fishing ships. And he's got skirms looking around everywhere. He's Byzantine, so he's got lots of vision. Ballistics is in, so his shots are going to hit. And a siege workshop just in case from Fedex. Fedex is making all the right decisions here. It's now just executional stuff, right? So it's just like farming at home or fishing more on water and micro and unit positioning. I don't see what Ciskhan can do to come back. Oh, God. Especially like this. Fedex with the micro. Okay. He's got to run away from this now, though. At least now your crossbows are out, and maybe they're not tracked. Like, you could try and go kill something with these crossbows. And 2 town centers to produce villagers for Ciskhan. Missing bow saw as well right now, guys. He couldn't really afford it. Because remember, he hasn't had the fishing eco to work with. Look at the vision Byzantines have from all their buildings, too. You're not going to surprise them. Outpost here. He knew there were crossbows around. He's kind of looking for them right now. He thinks the crossbows could have gone to the side. Might have caught a glimpse of them in the middle. Trying to pick them off now. There he goes. He sees them. He kills one. He sees the mangonel. Backs away. You know what would actually be quite good right now? Is I actually think a knight. As Fedex kills that mangonel and could repair this one to full health. Just because there's not many crossbows from Ciskhan, I think a knight would be perfect. From Fedex. Because he's going to start getting desperate here. And if he starts to get desperate... No! That mangonel as well! He's desperate. He gets it. That would have just been unlucky. Yeah, it's very uncommon to see it, but... like... one or two knights running out to pick off the siege would be so nice. I don't think he needs it, though, guys. I think Fedex is going to win this game. There's no turning it around from here, and Ciskhan calls it GG. Okay, so a couple things. Fedex, he understood his win condition. And I think Japanese are at the point where they're just so freaking predictable. He assumed that his opponent would go man-at-arms, and so he just walled towards ranged units. He didn't scout the man-at-arms. He didn't even scout the opponent's dock. But he's like, what's the harm in me walling here, right? It's silly of me, especially if I don't have vision to wall. And so the walls being down was a good start. This was huge, though. This showed me that he's more suited for the map, maybe even than Ciskhan is, which, again, I'm like, I think Ciskhan played well, but he didn't really play Scandi. He played, like, Arabia or something. Fedex fishing away on this side was so nice. Ended up getting the better of Ciskhan on the other side. And it was just defense on land from Fedex, and then offense on water, and then really good economy. He's up 2-0 now. Ciskhan would have to win 3 straight. But again, he shows promise. He shows potential. So we'll see what Shoals will bring, which will be our next map. Okay. As someone says, is Fedex delivering a sweep? Well, so far it looks like Fedex is delivering a sweep. Fedex has looked really good. And this is the final home map for Ciskhan. And thankfully for him, he has Italians, guys. And Italians have been seen as number 1 civ on this map. At least I think they're the number 1 civ on this map. It's probably Italians, Malay. I think Mongols should be in the conversation because of the amount of hunt. Byzantines actually could be in that conversation. I do think Malayans also should be. So it's good to see that. I'm probably missing some. I think Lithuanians too would be really solid. But anyways, Italians have a strat where I feel like there's no weakness. And the strategy is go fast castle behind some walls and have 4 or 5 fishing ships and then adapt. I will say that, you know, the map generation that you can get on Shoals sometimes with these back wood lines, it can differ quite drastically. And both players have their golds a bit more exposed than they would like. You only have 4 tiles, right? So this sucks. You could wall it, but this, ideally you'd have it like here. And then this as well is awkward. Now this is an easier wall for you. If you scout it, you could just wall between the trees and use this wood line. But Ciskhan will have to be more creative, and it definitely opens up more potential for Fedex to do something on land, possibly. I don't think we'll see anything on land from Fedex because Malayans are really flexible with cheaper wood buildings, so they can go for ships and lands combined later on. But I mean, same thing for Fedex, though, right? Like this gold is behind a wood line. If you had the gold here, it's a completely different situation. This gold behind a wood line, a more feasible wall here. What could hurt Fedex? Let's say he loses water control and he is walled this way. The fire ships can actually range walls here because of this little water puddle. So, do you need to get more relics on maps with more... Wait, do you need to get more relics on maps with more relics to get the full Lithuanian Civ bonus? I'm not understanding your message. Do you need to have relics to take advantage of Lithuanians? I mean, Lithuanians feel really good even if they don't get relics. But yeah, I mean, if there's more access to relics, that's maybe a bit more of a reason to pick the Lithuanians. Like, if it's more realistic, you get a guarantee of 2 or 3, you know? I think there's 7 on this map. Here I can zoom out. And 7 relics. Yeah, there's a limit. Okay, so I misunderstood the question. Yeah, so there's a limit of 4 relics to their bonus. So if you were to get 8, for example, you're still only getting the +4 attack from 4 of those relics. And then it's not proportionate to the amount of relics, which I think might have been your question. Yeah, that was your question. So if there's 7 relics on the map, you're still getting like +1 attack for getting 1 relic and +2 attack for getting 2 relics. And it's the same if there's 100 relics on the map, you still just need, 1 relic per attack. That would be interesting if it was proportionate. I think that would make things a little too complicated. Never even thought about it that way. So, okay. Now your question makes sense. So walling coming in already for Fedex. Ciskhan already walling as well. Has decided to wall this side. They both seem a little bit closer to 1 gold side. It feels a little bit more feasible for Fedex to go to the north. And it's way easier for Ciskhan to get to this gold area, which obviously puts him further away from this one. And the play we've seen more often than not is fast castle and adapt, and then it's about deciding how you play it from there. And I could see both players going fast castle into a second dock and making fires to kill the fish. There's some small things that both players are doing, which is pretty smart right now. More so Ciskhan, actually. He's fishing far away from his tower right now, because later on, he could take this fish when the fishing ships are vulnerable. But honestly, in a fast castle war, it's not even that important, because if they're going to kill your fish, they're going to kill your fish, because the ships are going to be upgraded to fires. It's not like it's going to be a galley opening. All right, so mills coming up here for Fedex. You do need a mill before a market. Expectation here, he'll go blacksmith market with his fast castle. He's pushed in all the deer next to his TC at the start, and then he saw another deer and said, "Oh, I'll take that too." I did this the other day in the show match I played. Like, this is honestly just... It's really easy to play off the fast castle here. Very difficult for the feudal age player to get damage. It makes sense to be greedy. There he goes. Fedex will be up to feudal age faster. I don't know if that means he'll be up to castle age faster. That is still to be seen. And Ciskhan's going to wall here as well. That's a big wall. You could use some of this space to wall with your buildings, honestly. Maybe he wants to wall with buildings here or something. But he's down 2-0, right? He's down 2-0. He wants to play it safe. Fedex has looked good, man. I feel really bad for Ciskhan. It cannot feel good to have lost that first game and then, be beaten in game 2 like that. I'm sure it's tough to stay positive at the moment. But reverse sweeps have happened and could easily happen here for him if he just takes it 1 game at a time. But we should mention, Fedex, known for being very capable on the closed maps, has 2 closed maps as his home maps. So Ciskhan would have to outplay, like if he wins this, right? He then is to outplay Fedex, and Fedex is home turf. So Fedex is going to click up, but here's where the difference is between the 2 civs. So because he's paying a full price, it's much harder for him to float the res to do other things. Whereas for Ciskhan, he should be able to have the food for Horse Collar and the wood upgrade. He should feel a little bit more comfortable to go for the War Galley upgrade, because the War Galley upgrade's also discounted with the Italians. So uptime's very strong here from both. Now we get to see what happens next. We're going to see second dock for Fedex. Ciskhan, I think he's going to opt for the boom. So I can give like all my depth of strategy here. This is in training with my training partners who were Matador and Ozone. Matador qualified for silver. Ozone unfortunately lost in his decider. But yeah, in our training sessions, basically this is the conclusion I came to. If you're Italians and your opponent's going 2-dock to kill your fish, and you're just on 1-dock, you're happy with that. Because they have had to invest into the 2nd dock, they're investing into more ships than you, and then they are paying the full price for War Galley, which is pretty expensive. Whereas you could still kill their fishing ships with 1-dock. You're paying half price for War Galley. So it's greater investment them into water, and then you just invest into land. So I prefer what Ciskhan's doing right now. All that said, it looks like we're going to see a TC from Fedex. And War Galley upgrade there. But you see how he's at the limit? He'll have more fires, though, than Ciskhan. Ciskhan getting that upgrade, too. Do not want to take any fights before you have that upgrade. Well, hello, blubber biologist. Lorraine is in chat, guys. I imagine you just woke up, because it is morning there. I have started packing, by the way. So that's my fiance, and she is going to be she is already in Australia. She said, I can't bear to travel that far with you. You're so annoying, so let's just go on separate days. And I said, okay, that's fine. I guess I'll just cast Titans League then. I'm just kidding. She's there for a conference. And I said, I hate science. No, I didn't say that either, but decided not to be there for the conference. So this is what I mean. So the fires can still kill fish. Now, your opponent can always add more, which is what makes it tricky. But I think Ciskhan has played this right. Mismicroed a little bit. But you see all these fires, and I don't think you should be that worried. I truly don't. Now, you've all this navy for what? For 2 fishing ships? Live your dream, Fedex. All right, so this is where Ciskhan is deviating a bit from my, what I consider to be the 100% correct play. And so is Fedex. So they are both going to TC separate sides. So again, in our testing, and I hope my opinions, I mean, you guys are watching. You care a little bit about my opinions, right? Basically, the main thing is honestly takes so long to get here that if you were to just make the TCs at home, you're going to have more villagers faster, right? But also, it leaves you a little bit exposed to a push. So the idea is like contest the golds later on in Imp. And this will be the last time we see Shoals in like months and months and months and months. So I think I'm going to talk the crap out of it and really try to break it down. I'll miss you, Shoals. I will miss you. But man, what a game. Like these guys, I know the score's 2-0 right now, but these guys both have played really good. Res collected. It looks like Fedex is ahead. He's ahead in every single category. I'm surprised at how low the farm count is right now for Ciskhan. I feel like he could definitely have had a bit more. But he has Horse Collar for his farms. He's got Bowsaw for the Lumberjacks. Oh, God, he's going to lose the market. No, that hurts so much. Yeah, Daniel, I love Shoals. I will use Shoals again in future tournaments for sure. And I think I will I think I will tweak it, right? I think we'll make changes so the meta changes a bit. Because I think the one weakness of the map right now is that people figured out the meta a bit after gold and plat and then also silver. I mean, there's slight tweaks to how you play it, right? Yeah, it's a really fun concept. Ooh, Scout from Fedex. Trying to kill monks right now. Already 2 relics in for Ciskhan. That Scout's going to back away. Scout is out and about for Ciskhan, just sitting next to this relic right now. So again, basically a boom war right now. And Fedex on 5 fishing ships. Has the TC over here. Transitional economy has been really clean from both. Very clear to me that these guys played practice games. What's after this game? Well, hopefully we have 2 more games after this, Jordan. But after this series, demo, bam! Old man just died to a bunch of explosions. It's sad, but we enjoy it. After this series, I am finished. I will not be doing more. So I hope we get more games. Man, the value that Fedex has gotten from the scout has been very nice. Still, Ciskhan's not going to be complaining about having 3 relics. Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised that... Oh, I guess another monk died here. Surprised that Fedex didn't take out the market faster, dude. That market's actually really valuable. Having to rebuild that will be annoying. And honestly, I don't know how much Fedex sees. He didn't scout this TC. I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe makes a siege workshop. If he were to use the scout to see the TC, I feel like a siege push from the shoreline could be really nice. And then Ciskhan might freak out and make a bunch of armies, stay in Castle Age. Another monk dies to a scout. What is that, like 5 monks down? How long is it going to take for those relics to pay off at this point? He's brought in 300 gold from the relics. But he's lost like 5 monks. We actually have War Galley being added from Fedex to control the shoreline that much more, too. There's so many ships. Fedex over here with an outpost, just trying to determine what's happening here. And okay, so instead of siege pushing the main base, he says, I know my opponent's here now. I will siege push this side. Ciskhan never really scouted this. I think he's just not concerned about that until Imp. Anyways, there is another monk coming in with relic number 4, which is huge for Ciskhan. Res collected. Higher for Fedex. And he's going to have a lot of annoying map presence along this shoreline that Ciskhan is going to have to ignore. And I think you ignore it. I think trying to sneak up docks is just too rough. Oh my god, another monk goes down. I just can't look. So many monks have gone down. But yeah, Fedex has opted for quite a bit of water control. That could be a big deal long term. Lots of vision from that shoreline. Does Ciskhan see this siege workshop? Oh my goodness. Oh, that's interesting. The fact he has no clue about that is wild to me. He will see the villagers though. But he might find all this stuff out at once. Okay, reacts right away. Oh my goodness. I mean, compared to a normal game, he doesn't have a lot to focus on right now, I guess. And the imp timing is going to be epic. So, honestly, like, you just need to get the castle down. We're going to see a castle from Fedex. He wants to place it there. And the castle from Ciskhan will allow him to go imp. The problem is he can't really protect his trebs with his castle with this type of a position. This positioning is weird to me. But I think he knew, he knew if it was spotted, it would have been denied. His plan right now is to go condos, which is why he's dropped the barracks. Yeah, this build basically makes use of every Italian bonus. Cheaper up to the next stage. Cheaper dock techs, cheaper fishing ships. Condos available in Imp. But man, this is a lot of pressure from Fedex. And Fedex is also imping. And Fedex can keep Ciskhan off of gold. Ciskhan's working with this gold. And Ciskhan's working with this gold. That will run out. And Fedex will know there's a castle here from Ciskhan. He's dropping a university, which tells me he'll probably go for chemistry. That doesn't mean that he'll go hand cannons, though. That could just be... That could simply just be for... words are hard for me right now. Bombard cannon, sorry. The castle from Ciskhan is a result of the fact that he didn't scout the siege workshop. And then he thought he could just build the castle without any pressure being sustained. I think his next castle may be close to this, because you got to fight this back now. You're an imp faster. You have a treb on the way. There are the first 2 condos. Condos, take out 1. Condos, don't take out 2. Can he fit a castle here? I don't even know where you place it. It's kind of awkward. You kind of built all your buildings where you want to place the castle. Gabettos would be really nice against condos. Is that another monk? No, it's a condo. Oh, he must use select all barracks right now. This is why I don't use select all build for my military buildings, because crap like this happens. It's actually not true. I started to use them a bit more frequently, and I found that things like this happen to me. But since I struggle with control grouping things perfectly, sometimes it's worth it. Typically, I do select all of one of my military buildings and control group the other two. Treb still could get hit by something here, but it's not that crazy. You still got the Treb out already. I would prefer to see a second Treb, and I'd prefer to see Ciskhan drop a castle. Guys, he's losing this TC to Navy right now. He's got 2 condos and 1 monk, and we all know that monk's going to die. Where is he? Yeah, okay, he's healing up. Well, he's not, but he's hiding. He doesn't want Ciskhan to kill him. Condos could have tried to make a move towards Fedex's base. Fedex prepped for that, dropped a castle. He's got ranges prepared. And I'm pretty sure for him right now, he's going crossbow because he wants a unit before he can make hand cannons. But maybe he will actually commit to Arbalest. You lack Bracer, though, so it's kind of awkward with the Malians. Remember, Fedex is taking gold freely over here. He's not being pressured in the slightest. And he's the one applying all the pressure. And the upgrades are lacking for Ciskhan's condos. The numbers have been lacking. And he's making hand cannons now in combination with bombard cannons. I think Malian crossbow's not bad. I think Malian he's in a position where he needs something that's enough for now. In the long run, White Knight, obviously you don't want to have arbs that lack bracer. But if it's enough just to push you over the edge here and keep Ciskhan off of gold a little bit longer, which is essentially what's happening right now, you're going to have the gold to go for anything you want. And it's just so underwhelming from Ciskhan. He's got no army. He just seems completely rattled. He's got no gold income. Or that's not completely true, but he just doesn't have enough gold income. We're seeing that he has better eco up here, but I don't even feel like it's that efficient, whatever it is. And it just seems completely overwhelmed for him. He loses his trebs. He loses all of his bombard cannons. He can push the castle back, and he calls the GG. A disappointing end for Ciskhan to make it this far and then lose this series, because he did look really good in the other sets. Who did we cast him against? Ciskhan versus... Pretty sure he won the previous best of 5 3-2 against a really good name. I have to maybe look that up. But Fedex wins 3-0. And Fedex goes into gold, guys. I'm excited for him. Fedex doesn't sign up for every tournament. You know, like I said, he's a player who's played this game for a very long time. I remember when I started casting back in 2014, 2015, Fedex was around. So he's been around a long time. But I never really saw a recent push from him to really play in a lot of events. Right? But in Titans League, you have that opportunity to prove yourself, work your way from silver, move through to gold. You don't have to worry about running into top 20 or top 30 talents in the first, or not, maybe not first round, but like second or third round, and then just not making a top 32 event, let's say. Titans League kind of gives you different opportunities, and maybe that was inviting for him. I'm not sure. But Fedex played well. Ciskhan, I hope he keeps going. He's way better right now than he was last year. And he was good last year. So the fact that I could see an improvement and feel an improvement when I play against him is telling. But clearly he just needs to get some of the strategy things right. And I think he should have delivered a win in game number 1. It was an epic comeback from Fedex. And then maybe his spirit was a little bit broken coming into this one. Because I think he would have known how difficult it would have been. Best of luck to Fedex in gold. That means our gold groups are final. So I think I'll do a quick little video on that, which we can plan for YouTube once all the deciders are up, and kind of talk through how all that will play out. And yeah, leave it at that.